remember how Ubisoft was talking about reviewing strategic options? Well, these are the strategic options: a buyout of Tencent, or rather, Tencent buying out Ubisoft. Here's the curious thing, though. The Gilman family, or however you say it, they want to retain control in the buyout. And I don't know how that works. Like, hey guys, we're the people who started the company, but also destroyed the company, and we want to retain control of the company after it's bought out, so... That's weird, right? That's weird to you, right? That's weird to me, too. So it's, let's find out just what exactly mind-bending twist this is going to take now. And so as it says here in the summary, the Gilman family seen wanting to retain control in the buyout, Tencent undecided on increasing its stake, minority shareholders push for the sale amid stock decline, and Ubisoft shares are up about 16%. Not to 16%, but up about 16%. By 16%. So, here we go. Shareholders of Ubisoft Entertainment are considering now to structure a possible buyout of the Assassin's Creed video game franchise, the video game maker, without reducing the family's control. Two people familiar with the matter told Reuters. So this again, right out of the gate, think about that. The people who have been making the decisions to cause all the havoc in the company that resulted in it being in the shape that it's in, they're not going anywhere. Somehow somebody's just going to trade over, starting paying for their bills. That's how they're going to do this. There's new sugar daddy. Is that how this is supposed to work? Yeah. It sounds very European. So here we go. The Gilman family, which is the largest and founding shareholder, has been in talks with Tencent, that Chinese place, and other investors in recent weeks about funding a managed-led buyout of France's largest video games maker, the people said. These are the insiders they have, speaking on a condition of anonymity. Now, obviously, maybe their lives would be in danger considering Tencent's involved, but here we go. However, the Gilman family has indicated it would like to retain control over the company, which also makes games like Just Dance, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's whatever he's up to. Maybe he's got an ice cream stand this time. A murderous one. Anyway, and they're working on a deal. However, here's a bit of a sidewinder, right? Tencent, currently the largest stakeholder outside of the Gilmans, has about 10% of the company, and they feel pretty comfortable staying there, all right? Now, what this means about a buyout is that at some point there may be a forced decision on this buyout, that they can't keep playing footsie with each other, all right? And that's what this is going to detail that's coming through here. And I'm only going through this so that it's the actual information and it's not speculation, it's the stuff coming from the leakers, so here we go. This is partially because it asked for a greater say on the future of the board's decision-making. And the cash flow that's returned to the investors, if you will. So Tencent wants more money if they're going to buy in. Meaning, if they put more money into this, they want to see more money coming back to everybody, not just them. Which, again, I could appreciate. That seems like, yeah, you know what? You've been running the company into the ground. We're going to kind of make this hurt you, I guess. And so adding Tencent's plan is to remain patient and wait for the founding family to agree. Now, there could be a situation here where it says Tencent may not opt to increase its stake in Ubisoft as it considers its current direct holding of 10% being adequate for what they want to do. Tencent declined to comment on this stuff, and Ubisoft's people decided to decline on this. But what can happen is that the smaller investors like AJ Investments, that's a group of investors that have a less than 10% stake in the company, they can come out and say, no, we want a hostile takeover, we're done. If Tencent doesn't want to do it, they can name a price, we'll buy them out too. And that's kind of what goes on at this point right now, is that they've opened themselves up for a very precarious situation. If Tencent decides to remain a 10% shareholder no matter who, let's say they come out and they say, well, we're going to support whoever runs this company so long as we retain our 10% hold with whoever is running it. Now, that completely obliterates the Gilmans being able to hold on to this operation. Absolutely obliterates it. So, in my opinion, that's most likely what'll happen, is that Tencent won't assume control of it because it doesn't really help them. In the end, it's a lot of burden to take on. You got to have a studio all the way in Europe, and it's already pretty... Ugh. You know, we've talked about what goes on inside of Ubisoft, so... Tencent stands a better chance of making more money by simply remaining a 10% investor and maybe increasing their share by a little bit under the, agreement that they receive even more money back for doing so. Of course, the other investors as well. But again, I personally don't understand why the Guillemons are allowed to remain in control of the... Excuse me, I get so much indigestion talking about this. I almost puked in my mouth. Gosh. It's these people. They make no sense. They make absolutely no sense. It turns my stomach trying to talk about this, because intermingled with all of this, we've got amateurs making Assassin's Creed games now, and the other end of Ubisoft, they're just shutting everything down left and right if it doesn't make money in the first 6 months. It's Concord fever on one end, and on the other, well, it's Concord fever on both ends, I guess, because there's so much toxic positivity going on. It's getting to me. Anyway, this mess here is only going to continue to spill out over the year here. It's going to take them another 3 or 4 months to settle anything. There won't be anything dramatic happening. But this is an indication that from here on out, the Guillemot family is on notice. They're trying to retain control of the company that they founded, despite being the people that have participated and signed off on its decline. I just don't understand how that works. How do you go... Let's just make a metaphor out of it. How do you go to the mechanic and say, I have a bad transmission, right? Very difficult to get from point A to point B. I need you to switch that out. And they don't do that. And instead, they put your bad transmission in a new car. That's effectively what's happening here. Or they just give your old car to somebody else and you're whatever. It's a bad metaphor. Whatever. You got me. But the situation is that you're not fixing the problem, right? X-Defiance, but lost to dust. This NFT game got hacked in the first few hours it was active. As I said just a few minutes ago, the Assassin's Creed games are in the hands of newbies fresh out of college. What are you going to do? The buyout's inevitable, but why are the Guillemot family even allowed to sit at the table after all that they've caused? I don't know. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below what you think. Do you think Ubisoft is even going to survive this? In my opinion, I don't think so. I think what'll happen is the buyout will happen, and then slowly they'll just start selling everything off and dissolve it all out. Kind of like parting out an old truck, if you will. Because again, you have to look at what sorry state Ubisoft is in. They just closed down X-Defiant and they only gave it 6 months to survive. And it wasn't as terrible as Concord, but it had its hiccups. But 6 months and they dropped it? It had to have been doing terrible. Either that, or they couldn't afford to keep it online. Which spells an even bigger problem when you get back to looking at all the other games they're offering or planning to offer. Alright? But again, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, good luck out there.